Take my hand and walk with me. Let me show you beautiful things. The world is waiting, the world is waiting for us to see. The autumn leaves begin to fall. Soon the snow will cover all. The world is waiting, the world is waiting for us to see. God's glory fills the earth with His works of infinite wonders. God's glory fills the earth with love. Oh, and God's glory fills the sky and spans the depths of the ocean. God's glory fills the sky with love. As the hopeful spring arrives, bringing in new breath of life, the world is waiting, the world is waiting for us to see. With the summer wind at sea, we can feel God's majesty. The world is waiting, the world is waiting for us to see. God's glory fills the earth with His works of infinite wonders. God's glory fills the earth with love. And spans the depths of the ocean. God's glory fills the sky with love. God's glory fills the earth.
Shalom, I am Rabbi Shaul Praver. Welcome to Rabbi Rock. You know, Rabbi Rock is about music, and there's a lot of stories about the music world that you can only get here on Rabbi Rock. And today we have the great pleasure of having with us John Lennon's former bodyguard and a very fine singer in his own right, James McClain. And with no further ado, I welcome James McClain to Rabbi Rock. Shalom.
Shalom, Rabbi. How you doing?
Good to have you here.
Good to be here.
Now, how did you get that gig? You were John Lennon's personal bodyguard.
Yeah, at the studio, at the Hit Factory.
Okay.
Back in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
When he was doing the Double Fantasy album.
Yes.
I worked on his session for 3 months and maybe a couple of days.
Uh-huh.
And we got to know each other real good.
Mm-hmm.
He would come in the studio about 3 o'clock every day and stay until about 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Wow, that's about 14 hours there, huh?
He did a lot of work. Yeah, and he was a real nice guy.
Wow.
And we got to like each other.
What was it like, working with him? What was his style? What were some little anecdotes you could share with us?
Well, John was a great guy. He gave me a lot of inspiration to write my own music. And I tell you, out of all the entertainers that I know, he's the only one actually that wanted to really help me with my music.
He did.
Yeah.
Now he heard some of your music comes from the church, from the gospel.
Yeah.
And he heard your voice and one of your songs. And what did he say about that?
Well, he loved my music. I gave him a cassette with about 13 songs, and he carried it everywhere he went. And he told me, he said, James, you got a beautiful voice. And he said, I love gospel music. And I told him I was doing a single in the studio. So he said, make sure that you give me a copy when it's finished. But, you know, a couple months later, he was gone, you know.
Yeah. Now, before we get to that part, for the audience, the time that you were associated with John was sort of after he was in retirement for about 5 years.
Yeah.
After the Beatles.
Yeah, that's when I met him in 1980. He had just came out of retirement. He had been home with raising his son, little baby Sean, for 5 years. And during the time he was home, he was writing these songs.
He just can't stop.
Yeah, he loved, you know, he's a creator, you know. And he created some beautiful songs, and he came back in the studio. Sean was 5 years old, and he started recording. So I was working at the Hit Factory, and they put me on his sessions. And he would come in like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock every day, and we'd be there like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
And this was like sometimes 7 days a week. And we got to know each other real good.
Now, you said he moved around real fast and stuff, and there was a lot of, you know, people hanging out.
Oh, yeah.
Just wanted to see him and so on and so forth. What was
Yeah.
What was it like in the Hit Factory, and what other people did you come across?
Well, there was a lot of people every day. They was hanging out in front of the building. They wanted to get a picture of him, or they wanted to get an autograph.
Yeah. And
they just wanted to be able to get close to him, to see him, and mostly it was young ladies, and there was a lot of screaming out there.
Yeah.
And you know, reminding him of the days that he was with the Beatles.
Yes.
And it was always a crowd, 30, 40, 50 people out there every day.
Yes.
So I had a job in keeping the people back from the car when the taxi or the limousine pull up. I had to get everybody back. A lot of times they wanted to come into the studio building, but I wouldn't let them come in. I told them they couldn't come up to the floors because there was no sessions allowed for people to come in from the streets. All the floors was closed. So he would run in the building, and he ran pretty fast. We had a long hallway there, and he'd get away from them real fast. Some days he would sign autographs. Some days he wouldn't.
Yeah.
It was just up to him when he wanted to do it.
What was his instrument of choice mostly that he wrote his songs with? Was it more piano or more guitar?
Well, John, you know, he played piano a lot, and he played guitar.
Yeah.
But there was a statement one time in a movie called The Departed when Jack Nicholson asked the actor Leonardo DiCaprio.
Yes.
He asked him, "Did you know who John Lennon was?" And DiCaprio said, "Yeah, I know. He was the last president."